Yeah, so I'm going to give you, this is my college football theory, Clark, for what's going to happen the rest of the season, or what the debate is going to be about the narrative. When we get to the end, all these people who are trying to be really smart, the Danny Cannells of the world, are going to try to outsmart everybody.
Is that what he's doing?
Danny
Okay.
Cannell and Joel Klatt, right? They think they've got, they're just so smart. They're smarter than everybody else, and they've got it figured out. They're going to continue to tell us that, the SEC is really not that much better. These conferences are really the same. I don't know what they're talking about. Like, there's a couple of teams at the top that have a chance to win the national title. Then there's mostly teams in the middle, and there's some bad teams at the bottom. All the conferences are really the same. And so they're going to continue to feed us that bullshit. And this year they're going to get to go out and prove it, right? Because we're going to get right now you're going to get your BYU or your Iowa State winning the Big 12, right? You're going to get Miami or Clemson winning the ACC, right? So you're going to get that. They're going to get their first round buys. They're going to get a nice month off, right? Then they're going to come play mostly SEC and Big 10 schools and watch what happens. Okay. They're going to get their clocks cleaned. Okay. No, they're going to get the snot beaten out of them because you're going to give SEC and Big 10 teams at least 2 or 3 weeks off to heal up after their tougher conference, which it is. Okay. And they're going to go in there and just smoke them. Whatever teams that are left of the Big 12 and ACC will get wiped out in the first game, whichever game that is.
Yeah.
And then we're all going to go, man, the SEC is really the best conference. Even though right now everybody's going, well, look, Alabama lost to Vanderbilt. I mean, how good are they really? I don't think the SEC is that good. I mean, have you seen Ole Miss play? I mean, what is this? And it's just because they're playing each other, nobody realizes, oh, this is a different level. Okay. Yeah. But I'm serious. Watch the other conferences, watch the ACC and the Big 12, and you try to tell me they're playing at the same level because it ain't even close, boys and girls. You saw in the Big 10 this year, it's Ohio State and Oregon. Everybody else is second rate at best.
Yeah.
So, that's my theory about what's going to happen. And they're going to try to, like I said, the smart media people are going to try to use, well, the ACC had a better record against the SEC this year because they beat Mississippi State. And I was going to throw Vanderbilt in there, but I'm not going to now. They beat Vanderbilt in Florida, and, they beat all the crappy teams in the SEC. So that means, the conferences are really close. And it's just like,
imagine if we did that in the NFL. Like, yeah. What's the worst division in the NFL right now?
I was going to say the AFC South, but maybe we thought it would be the NFC South, but I think, Tampa and Atlanta are pretty good.
Okay. So say it's the AFC South, and somebody goes in and beats, they beat Tennessee, and then they beat, Tennessee,
Indianapolis, Houston, and Jacksonville.
Oh, okay. Somebody goes and beats Jacksonville and Tennessee, and then we go, well, I mean, this team from this other division, this means this other division is clearly better than the AFC South. Now, maybe that's a bad example, but it's like, yeah, but did you beat the Texans? Oh, no, they didn't play the Texans. Well, what are we talking about here? What,
Right. It's like trying to tell me Iowa is one of the best 12 teams. You know what I mean? It's just like,
no.
In what world?
Right.
And so, yeah, I just think it's hysterical that we're going to you're going to try to act like these conferences are the same. They're not even close. If you watch Miami play, they got Miami ranked ahead of Alabama. All I do is laugh my ass off. I'm just like, you were losing by 25 to Cal. Okay. Yeah. Virginia Tech basically had you beat. Vanderbilt also beat Virginia Tech, by the way, so it's just like, it just makes me laugh. Cause it's like, I'm watching and then Danny Cannell sends out a tweet. We should be basing these rankings on resume, not on brand. And I'm like, resume should matter even more than ever. Really? Then why is Miami in the top 5? Okay. They've beaten no one. Don't tell me they beat Florida. Congratulations. I mean, come on. Miami has no resume to speak of. Until yesterday, Ohio State had no resume to speak of. Like, if I was ranking the teams, I wouldn't even bother putting, if you don't play anybody like Tennessee and Ohio State until this week, I'm not even putting you in my rankings. Like, forget it. Play somebody, and then we can talk. But until then, I'm not putting Miami ahead of Alabama. What are you, smoking crack? They lost to Vanderbilt. Yeah, Vanderbilt beat Virginia Tech, which basically beat Miami. So, I think transitive property doesn't really work. But anyway, so
If
yeah,
you want to
that's
play that game, we can.
yeah, that's my theory. Also, I think a 3-loss team is going to get in the playoff. And like you
Okay.
said, there's going to be a lot of nonsense about it. I think it's going to happen. I just think these teams are going to beat the hell out of each other, and we'll see how it goes. But anyway, before we move on to the NFL, the Ohio State Oregon game was tremendous. I said before the season I really like Texas and I really like Oregon, and now listen, that Oregon Ohio State game, that you could have told me that game could have gone either way. It's a field goal. Somebody makes a field goal. Somebody doesn't. Whatever. Ohio State kind of screwed it up on the last drive. So either way, that I feel about Ohio State the same way I feel about Alabama and Georgia. Those two teams are really good. They'll be in the playoff.
Yep.
That's what I think. And Ohio State's really good. They just came up a little short in that game. Oregon played way better than we were expecting based on the way they had played, the first 5 games of the season. So they showed up in a big time way, and Oklahoma really misses Dylan Gabriel. That's all I can say about that.
Yeah.
So I think that that was really, really awesome game yesterday. And I just think we're just going to keep getting the Clark. This weekend we got Alabama, Tennessee, and Georgia, Texas. Like, come on, this is going to be fantastic.
Yeah, no, it's exciting. Yeah, looking forward to it.